No thing. Okay.
Well, we are live. As usual, we'll do the check the notifications and all that, and I think a lot of people are going to be battling some thunderstorms, so we'll see how the audience turns out tonight. Hey, I got a YouTube notification. That's good.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. Actually, I caught a screenshot. There was somebody sent me a image of a funnel cloud or tornado, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm told that it was right here in our area. And
Hmm.
I don't know if it was the one that supposedly came across in Greenwood and hopscotched over Benton to Cotton Valley, but um, it was taken here somewhere in the area. I don't know exactly where. We may show that in here in a little bit if people care.
Yeah.
Um,
All
as
right.
well, as well, last minute, getting ready for the show, I sent you an audio for us to talk about. It was an interesting dialogue that was had on Keel last week. I think it might have been the day before the election for the mayor of Shreveport, where
Really?
Tom Arsenault won. Can you believe that?
Well, can I believe that it was taken back then, or can I believe that Tom Arsenault won? I am a little surprised that Arsenault won.
It I don't know. It may be that that video was in Keithville. I don't know. Word has it that there might have been a couple of fatalities from a tornado in Keithville. I just got that sent across to me as we were
Hmm.
mentioning that. That might be where this was from. I don't know. Um, you know,
Yeah, if
hope
anybody's
we're,
got some information, let us know in the comments. I saw where I think it was the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office was supposed to have like 27 units responding or something. A couple of buildings were hit or houses or something. I'm just going off of Facebook information.
yeah, I don't know. This was a nuts of a day. I mean, literally, with the weather coming in, a lot of people may not have even realized it. You had a train wreck in plain dealing.
What?
No, literally, I'm serious. I'm not. This is not a joke.
Not like a train
Seriously,
wreck politically, an actual train wreck. Did it derail or what happened?
no, there literally was a train wreck in plain dealing, and this is the even weirder part of the story. The state police were there when the wreck happened.
Well, they didn't have to
They
go far to write their reports, now did they? I mean,
they
I'm
were there.
making light of it. I hope nobody was hurt.
Well, anyway, we'll cover that here in just a minute too. I mean, because we have a little bit of video of that, which is
Hmm.
nuts. And that was before all the weather punched in.
Well, that could be interesting. All right, so I've got that audio file that you sent over to me in the show files, and it's cut keel audio. So I'll have to play that up as a movie whenever you're ready. So not a problem.
Yeah, it was kind of nuts. There was the Keel credit, credit to Mike and Aaron. They asked some tough questions, which you don't see that in media these days. But boy, did they go there! And Tarver was ready for it. I think. I mean, he gave probably as best of an answer as he could. My question to everybody is do you think this is one of the things that turned that election that made the result turn out the way it did? I don't know.
Hmm. Well, never know. I kind of loosely paid attention to it there towards the end. I mean, the choice of the two candidates is obviously well, not the greatest two choices. Let's put it that way, in my opinion, anyway. But Arsenal won. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah. So, what else are we going to talk about tonight, Rex?
Well, I want to put out a bit of information out there real quick, and I should have already had this queued up, but I'm big into the fishing deal, and so this isn't in the notes or anything, but the local high school fishing league and the junior fishing league put on a benefit tournament this past weekend, this past Saturday. They do it every year, and the entry fee is a new bicycle and a new toy, and they raise bicycles and toys and give away to needy or area families that need a little bit of help for the holidays. And it's always a good deal. We usually raise over 100 bicycles and toys and things and all that to give back to the community. So it was pretty good. I had 60 something, nearly 70 teams that participated in it. And just want to give a big shout out to Bayou Outdoor Super Center, or Bayou Outdoor Power Sports, excuse me, Bayou Outdoor Power Sports, and the high school league and all that for giving back to the community.
Now, Bayou Outdoor Power Sports, is that the folks down there off of Barksdale Boulevard and right there at the heart of
Mm,
Bossier?
no, that's the RV center. So they're the ones down Texas Street towards the old, now it's Fuzzy's Taco, but towards that direction. They're not right by Fuzzy's Taco. They're the ones that have all the boats and all that on Texas Street. Down there across the
But
street from O'Reilly's and all that on Texas
but it,
Street.
but it but isn't that the same people actually kind of?
They used to be.
But
So
they're
the Brazils owned it, and a guy named Jeremy Gamboa and some partners, or however that was structured, purchased um, the boat side. And I might need to ask Jeremy. I don't know if he bought the RV side too. So
well,
anyway,
you know
I
what?
know he bought the boat side of it anyway.
Well, here's what I would tell you, and I'll say this to everybody watching. Both of those, folks, even if they're different, but I will tell you, both of those companies have always been, loyal supporters for outdoor stuff, when it comes to fishing and hunting. Um, I, look, for 20 years or so. Or close to it. I don't think 20 years, but I know them folks to have been supporters of outdoor activities long time. So I would highly recommend that folks, pay those guys a visit the next time you're going to consider any business, for a boat or an RV, because I, I'm just saying, I know they've been big supporters of local programs. I know that for a
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah, and they're good fellow, and it's just kind of they're giving back to the community. They, full disclosure, they don't sponsor the show. I do some tech
Nope.
work for them, and then I help them out, of course, with the high school fishing. But here's a picture of some of the bikes that were donated as entry fees for the tournament. So, those are given away to area families that need a little help for Christmas, and we want to make sure that as many area kids as we can help with have a little better Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. So why don't we real quick, Rex? So guys, tonight tennis, that's one of the things on the agenda, as
Hmm.
well as Rex, did you know that we have an official drama queen in Bossier?
Really? You surely you just, oh Duke Lowry.
We have an official drama queen in Bossier. And for everybody watching, all right, so when we go to our break here, all of you need to post your guess as to who the official drama queen for Bossier City is.
Yeah, that's a
That's
good
gonna
idea.
it's gonna be
It's
fun.
it's a perfect segue. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and let's go to our countdown and do our little intro, and we'll come back and figure out who this drama queen might be, and we're going to talk about some tennis stuff. Tommy, the Tahoe Tommy is in the news, and also a little bit more. I think we got a little information on First Church and some other topics. So we'll be back in about 2.5, 3 minutes. Y'all know the drill. Make you a stiff drink. I've got a piping hot hot cup of coffee in my cool WorkshopLet mug. Try to keep my coughing down to a minimum tonight. Anyway, y'all tag some friends, share it out. We'll be right back.
They feel helpless, they don't feel heard, they have nowhere to turn.
In all honesty, we try to lay low a little bit because of the fear that we would not be able to camp there.
And I titled it A Shot Across the Bow of the Good Old Boys.
Hello everybody. I don't think I've ever done a video before on here, but yeah, I wanted to tell y'all what frustrates me a little bit about permits.
Cockroach of the week is, drumroll please, Allie Feaster Smith.
We can't be apathetic about what's going on in our state. We have to all pull up our bootstraps and get on top of this. So you're right. there's a problem out there. I mean, and man, you can see it everywhere.
Well, look, we have allowed government to become our wherewithal to everything.
Well, I've not heard my name in stable or Baton Rouge in stable in the same sentence in a long time.
You're about to be killed by a Zamboni, or you're gonna die in 5 minutes!
This Bossier Watch live broadcast is brought to you by David B. Womack for all your contracting and construction needs. The Outdoor News, fishing and outdoors for our area. Acadiana Mortgage, over 23 years in the mortgage business. Pelican Training and Consulting is an IWTP customized training provider with over 25 years of success to show for it. Call them for a free consultation today. Pelican Training and Consulting matches employers with 50-plus employees with training dollars. Smarter Geek, making technology easier. And the many supporters, donations, and folks sharing information and watching out for Bossier. Now, grab your popcorn and a drink. Here we go. Well, that's kind of interesting. So I was going through some of the Proton Mail to set up the screenshots and all that, and we got a Proton Mail of some guesses for the Drama Queen via Proton Mail. So somebody that sends us Proton Mail is watching the show.
Well, I'm glad that people are utilizing Proton Mail. And speaking of Proton Mail, we got a lot of Proton Mail since our last show, didn't we?
Yeah, we did get a pretty good bit, and I may read some of this off. I may get the screenshots done in time. As usual, we're flying by the seat of our pants to get the show together in time. But part of the reason is because you, Duke Lowry, attended a meeting today, didn't you?
I did attend a meeting, and would you know, I mean, it's an interesting thing. I wonder what everybody thinks. Would you believe, Rex, that nobody at that meeting even spoke to me?
I'm
Nobody.
shocked. Nobody?
Zero. Nada. Nobody.
Not even Hammonds?
The best I could do was a glare. Well, okay, from one person a glare, and from another person was, just kind of acknowledge my existence. So Hammonds gave me a glare. I mean, I assume that's because we beat him and all the rest of the councilmen up last show, but they all deserved it. They should have voted no, in our opinion.
On principle. Yeah.
But the CAO, she looked at me and she, it wasn't a glare, but she acknowledged my existence. And
Amanda's a nice girl. Amanda's a nice gal. I don't have anything against Amanda.
No, I don't either.
The fact that she works for Tahoe Tommy is a little bit of an issue, but Amanda herself personally is fine. So.
I mean, one day maybe we'll get the answer from her as well as the new, public information officer of why would you take that job? Because it's going to be a short job.
Yeah, to say the least. Well, I don't know. We'll see how short the job is, but I just can't imagine that King David didn't come up and shake your hand. Hammonds didn't come up and shake your hand. I mean, What's the
Oh,
deal?
no, no,
Was
no,
Chris
no,
Smith
no.
there, or who else? Maggio, was he there? Or?
Well, Maggio was there. I mean, Chris was sick, is what I understood. I asked somebody, and they said,
Yeah.
"Yeah, he's
I think
sickly."
Bubba Don said he commented on the last show post or one of the posts, and so I think he said he had the flu, maybe. So he
Now,
probably wasn't going to be
hey, I noticed that too, and I wanted to give some credit to Bubba Don because
there.
one
Yeah.
of the folks messaged in our, after that show was messaging about some repairs that needed to be made, and Bubba Don engaged him, and Bubba Don
Yeah.
was like, hey, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to look. He went out, he didn't see what the person was referencing. The guy said, okay, no, here more specifically is where it is, and then Bubba Don was like, hey, I'm going to go back and I'm going to look again exactly in the spot where you're saying, and I don't know the outcome for that, but the
Right.
fact of the matter is he was trying and he was like talking to the guy. I mean,
Yeah.
that's good
At least
stuff
he
right
had.
there.
Yeah. Well, hey, it tells us that he's paying attention. I mean, because I don't even think I had tagged Bubba Don in the post. I think he was just paying attention to it and paying attention to what an issue that a constituent or a Bossier City voter or whatever citizen was having. And yeah, you're right. At least he engaged him in the dialogue. So good for Bubba. Good for Bubba Don.
Well, it looks like we got David Crockett, and David Crockett was at that meeting today.
Mm-hmm.
And we got, of course, our followers, Charlie and Judy East, always, on the show. Val
Right.
Barker.
Mm-hmm.
He said it's raining in Halton. Imagine that.
Hmm. Well, it's actually raining at my house. We got a little bit of high wind, a little bit of heavy rain, but I think most of the bad stuff kind of went north and south of us again. So apparently, this Barksdale bubble, they did activate the switch this afternoon for some of the area anyway.
Right. Right. And Ricky Bridges, Jeremy Gallman, and Holly Emfinger all here. And Holly Emfinger says she's definitely from Benton, whoever it is, talking about the Queen. Well,
Mm.
Holly, I'm sad to report that you're going to be wrong.
Drum roll, please. I don't think I have a drum roll thing here, but anyway,
Well,
not yet.
well, Rex, I'm wondering, what does everybody think, or has anybody even thought about it, or all gave any consideration to the mayor's race in Shreveport? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, for everybody out there, y'all quick, do some quick comments, even if you're not from Shreveport, although we do have a few Shreveport watchers. But yeah, what did you think overall of Arsenault winning over Tarver?
I got to tell you, I would have lost. I would have went bankrupt on the bets that I would have taken if I were taking bets on who was going to prevail in that race. No way would I have taken Arsenault. I wouldn't
No,
have done it.
I would have straight up said Tarver all the way.
Yeah. So obviously, I call us being political wonks. We got it wrong. I think everybody got it wrong. What was the cause? What do you think the reason is? Now,
I don't really know, honestly. Like I said, full disclosure, I didn't pay attention to the latter part of the mayor's race, so I don't really know. I mean, maybe it was this deal. Do I need to go ahead and cue up that Keel audio?
yeah, let's play it. There was on Friday there was an interesting dialogue that took place between Mike and Aaron on 17 Keel, and we quote them a lot. And
Right.
maybe one day we can get. I'd love to have Robert. I like Mike.
Yeah.
Mike Martindale's a great guy, I really do.
Yeah.
But Robert, Robert's just Robert. Robert and
Right.
Aaron. That's something that I don't know if will ever be reproduced. But
Yeah.
and maybe we can get Aaron to come on. But
All right,
I
so
got to tell you,
hold on just
they
a second. Let me get this queued
Daniel
up. It's
Elgin is
gonna
my new
play
chief of
that.
police of
Let me
Bossier
stop
City.
it. Stop. Okay, because we don't want that
that's
video.
not it.
No, I know that's not it, but I had to use that one to do this magic
Point blank.
right here. Okay, so we're ready when you are. So go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So Robert and Aaron, Mike and Aaron really hit Tarver with some, pretty hard questions, and they went there,
Hmm.
and let's listen to it.
All right, so this audio is obviously recording from Keel, so credit out to Keel Radio for that. So here we go.
Have you ever hit a woman? And because of these allegations, we have, I'll ask you the same question. Well, I guess I'll be Bill Clinton. What do you mean by hit? But I'm going to answer your question. There are times in a marriage when you get frustrated.
Sure.
And I'm sure that I've been frustrated. I know that I had kept her in a room to resolve an argument. I do not recall striking her. And again, we're talking about things that happened. I was divorced in early 1993. We're talking about things that happened 30 years ago, and memories fade.
Well,
No,
he gave a straight up answer. It sound, if his version of
no,
the events is correct there.
no, wait a minute. Keep playing.
I can't play. That's it.
What?
It's 41 seconds.
Okay. We're amateurs here. Amateur
I guess so.
journalists we are.
Let's
Amateur
make it
journalists
up.
we
Let's
are.
make it up as we go along. What was the rest of it that you wanted us to hear?
Well, the thing is it was suggested that maybe this issue or whatever was what turned the race. And I'm going to say there's no way something that was articulated on a radio show or even a social media show on a Friday is going to turn a race one way or the other. It's not. It's not going to
Well,
happen.
let's be honest. Um, the demographic that Arsenault needed to appeal to gain that vote typically does not listen to Keel.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, and Jeffrey Sadow posted a link, and I guess, I'm sorry, Jeff, I haven't read your article, but the vote didn't turn out for Tarver, and I would contend that this race ended up being a race of Tarver politics against, uh, you know, Heavy G and
Well,
Ollie Tyler, because they endorsed Arsenault, and
right.
I think you've got, some of that. Charles
Yeah,
Glover,
and
Tyler against Tarver.
well, and I'm sure the voter turnout was not as high as it needed to be. Does anybody know off the top of your head? Put it in the comments if you know what the turnout was over there. So that'll be part of it. But I think you're right, Duke. The endorsements in the case, most of the time the endorsements don't help a candidate move the needle that much. But I think maybe in the case of Arsenault, it did. And look, let's face it, Tarver had some baggage too. Some well-known baggage, and maybe I don't know.
Now,
Hollywood Gordon says 30% turnout.
yeah, now I'm going to propose another theory out there, Rex.
Okay.
Now you remember us talking about the fact that remember that image of the Republican Parish Executive Committee meeting,
Mm-hmm.
and you had Tarver sitting there at a table
Mm-hmm.
with Alan Seaball
Mm-hmm.
and Errol Peacock.
All right.
Now, remember Alan Seaball got his panties all in a wad
Oh,
because we were suggesting that maybe he was supporting Tarver,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I mean, Beryl Peacock, he went all in on Tarver.
Mm-hmm.
Rumors say that he was, bucking for a job. I mean, okay, I get that because he's term limited in the Senate. And, and like we just said, Seaball got all wound up tight.
Right.
He was mad. No way, I'm Arsenal.
Oh, yeah.
Now, some people are saying that there's a little bit of a rumor out there that Tarver really didn't try real hard, that Tarver was the guy to try to take the air out of the room to prevent Perkins or the other guys, get them
Mm-hmm.
out of the race. And then when it come to the general, Tarver would just lay down that he really didn't want to be mayor,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
he didn't try. He laid down for Arsenault.
Well, that's an interesting concept, and I apologize for having a mint in my mouth, but again, it's to suppress the coughing. But that is an interesting theory.
I gotta tell you, that one kind of makes me scratch my head. I mean, and someone once said that while we're playing checkers, they're playing chess.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, that is a chess type move if that's accurate.
Very interesting. And Ruth Pope Johnson says in the comments that she was told that negative messaging turned off the electorate. Maybe, but typically it doesn't. The Tarver vote stayed home. I think it just, you had two candidates that maybe the electorate didn't feel there was a one particular wedge issue on in the race, and maybe that's part of the reason that they only had 30%. Honestly, 30% is pretty high. I figured it wasn't even going to be that high, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not high at all. I mean, you hardly knew there was even going to be an election, and the
Of course,
constitutional
it's
amendment
always that
they
way
all
on the
passed.
runoff. The primary is always going to draw more than the runoff. So
Yeah, so for the rest of the show, I mean, I guess Rex, are we going to just jump square off into the Bossier City debacle that it is? Is that what we're going to?
I think we need to. I mean, I'm kind of trying to. I appreciate you putting the notes together, so I'm going to try to stick with the notes. But on the videos, just let me know which one I need to go to and that sort of thing, and I'll try to follow.
Yeah, I know it's going to be a little tough, and for those of you watching, this is going. There's two things in Bossier that are front and center. You've got the tennis, in which today you had a special meeting where they were discussing moving forward with the tennis proposal. It was basically like a informational meeting, and oh boy, did we get some information. And then there's another little part that fits into all this that kind of coincided. It doesn't have anything to do with the tennis, but Manchac and the Walter O. Bigby carriageway and this $6 million Citizens Bank Drive and the lift station.
Okay.
We're going to shine a little light on both of those, and we're going to try to jump between the two of those because they both kind of happen around the same time frame. So it's going to be a little tricky putting this out here, and we hope you guys hang with us while we put it out. So the drama queen, the drama queen of Bossier. Should I just go ahead and put it out there?
Well, first of all, I should say now I have. Who was that? Who was it that sang? Was it ABBA that sang "Dancing Queen" back in the '80s or whenever it was? Early. Now I have that in my mind, and the drama queen actually doing that. I've got to engineer one of these days a video of the drama queen dancing to that song "Dancing Queen" by ABBA. I think it was ABBA that did that. Anyway.
Well, let me give you. You need the image to go along with it because you need three senses for it to be ingrained on your memory.
Yeah.
The roller skates. You got to be on roller skates going around. With the drama queen.
yeah.
Wasn't that part of the video?
Yeah. Let's just do the whole thing.
Let's do the whole thing. We're gonna do it.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I say we just dive off into it and don't drag it out too far. So, do we want to go ahead and queue up the meeting audio and go from there, or how do you want to attack this tonight? Because just so everybody knows, the city council did have a workshop today. I believe it was at 1:00. Duke, you went to it. And they did have a workshop on the tennis and this $1.5 cajillion that King David wants to get appropriated for the tennis courts.
Yeah. So today, we're having a hearing to, hear the pros and cons of, spending $1.5 million on 6 new tennis courts, to complement the 12 already, bringing the total number to a total of 18. And, boy, I just don't know where to start except for to just jump right on. This is kind of technical. So go to the first video, or well, you've already got this one up. All right, so let's go ahead.
I go to either one.
Let's go to the very first video.
Okay,
that I have in replay.
Yeah, that should be the September 16th meeting.
Yeah, where your cursor is, and let's go to the 1424 mark. You see, I have it in the Killian's Court Amendment.
All right, let's see. This is the question to Jacobs about the 1424. Question to Jacobs about the name? Yes.
Correct.
Okay. Are we ready to play it?
Go ahead.
All right, here we go. Now, folks, just so you understand, we're going back to the September the 6th City Council meeting for a minute, and this is important for context.
Before you do that, Mr. I'm sorry. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Okay, thank you. Go ahead, sir.
It says agreement with Gary Todd Killian with Bossier Tennis, Inc. There is no Bossier Tennis, Inc. no more. It was dissolved several years ago.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that. I mean, it's going to be, as I understand it, then it would be with the, either the city through the Departments of Parks and Recreation. We could change the title or the parties to the contract.
All right, let me know when to stop.
All right, go ahead and hit pause.
All right.
Now, what they're talking about, if you can go to cut 6.
Okay, so bear with me for just a second here as I try to do this. Cut 6. Let me share. Hold on, just here we go. All right, let me take this one out of the way. That was last week's, and cut 6. Okay, so here is cut 6, and we'll explain the importance of this here in just a moment.
Yeah, this was on that meeting, this was the contract with, the guy that runs the tennis center. And if you'll notice there, underneath the bottom, it says Bossier Tennis Center Incorporated.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the problem was this contract was put forward by the city attorney's office, and it had Bossier Tennis Center Incorporated. And if you'll go to cut 7, you'll see why that's a problem.
All right, let's go to cut 7. Does this mean we're doing the city attorney's job for him?
No, they already did it, but...
Okay. All right, there you go. There's cut 7.
Well, you know what? That's actually the same one. I apparently made
there's
a
cut
mistake.
8. There's a cut 8.
So they ended up, they put this contract forward. Here's what happened. They put this contract forward, and they had Bossier Tennis Center Incorporated. Well, then, no, that's correct, because if you look right here, you see this one then says Bossier Tennis Center. This was at the second reading of this ordinance.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go back to that video. Now, you saw the first one said Bossier Tennis Center Incorporated. Then you see the second meeting. This one says Bossier Tennis Center.
Okay.
And then, go to the video, and let's continue playing the video and listen to the words that are spoken by the city attorney.
And that's, make sure I'm correct, that's from the September the 6th meeting we're playing where we just paused. Correct? Okay.
Correct.
So bear with us, folks, because we literally are putting this together because the meeting was this afternoon, and, well, the show's this evening. So here we go.
Should we table this for 2 weeks and let you fix the wording?
No tabling.
Continue.
Whoa. David Montgomery, did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Continue this for 2 weeks until we can fix the parties?
We could make an amendment to it, to the ordinance, and then we wouldn't have to, that's up to, you can do it either way.
The company's name, Mr. Killian's company's name is Killian's Courts, LLC.
That's some bad information.
I just found out.
Okay.
I mean, do we have to wait? I mean,
I don't think we do. I think if you make it.
It's the man is still the same.
Yeah, if you, in the terms of the contract, it's what's important are still the same. So if somebody offers an amendment to the proposed ordinance, with that proposed, changes to the language in the contract, then I think that you could go ahead and have a first reading today. I'll correct it and have it on the, agenda for September 20th for a second reading.
Phyllis, what you said, say that again.
Killian's Court, LLC. That's the financials that he provided that's what it is listed under Killian's Courts. And
Let me just say that if Jacobs had actually done his job before he came into that meeting, they wouldn't have to go through this whole several minutes of dialogue.
Well, to make a long story short and to save us a little time here, Rex, they ended up, Jacobs proposed that they make an amendment right here in this meeting. They made a motion to make an amendment, and they amended it to the contract to read Killian's Court.
Okay.
We'll go back, jump back to cut 8 again.
All right. Give me just a second. Let me jump back over there. And
Now, right
yeah,
there
that should
out
be
of the
cut 8.
get-go, right there out of the get-go, do you see Killian's court anywhere?
No. And this is the contract after that meeting. Is that correct?
This was the second. Cut 8
Okay.
is the second. You know, he was supposed to revise it. They made a motion with an amendment for it to read Killian's court. Second meeting, here's what was supposed to be revised. Second meeting, there's no
Well,
Killian's court anywhere. And there's multiple pages, but what I can tell you is in the multiple pages, there's no Killian's court. It's
well,
not in there.
let me just say this. It doesn't really matter anyway. I mean, what's the name on a legal document? Who cares anyway, all among friends, especially when they're not checking him financially anyway. They're just paying him. Or, correction, we, the taxpayers, are paying him. And nothing against Todd. Again, I'm all for Todd making this money as a capitalist. Go right ahead if the city council's dumb enough to continue doing this. Go right ahead, Todd.
Well, go on that same video on Restream, go to the 30:02 mark.
Okay, so let's flip over here. Give me a second.
Now we missed this the first time we saw all this. So
okay,
Richard Ray, go ahead.
All right.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize this was an issue until it just came up, but I think the contract is just simply between the city and Mr. Killen, which was the same as the last contract. I'm not sure where the entity came from. It's on the fact sheet. I'm not sure who prepared the fact sheet.
I didn't prepare the fact sheet. It came from your office, and also the ordinance has Bossier Tennis Center, Inc.
We've got
Go
it
sit
taken
down,
care
Richard.
of. Right. We're
Sit
good.
down.
Okay.
The
Just go
ordinance
on, sit
also
down,
reads
Rick.
that as well. It's got that in the ordinance as well.
Sorry.
Okay. So
the Keystone Cops there.
So Bossier Tennis Incorporated, and you heard Phyllis, Bossier Tennis LLC. I mean, go to cut 8, and I'm just wondering, a quick search of the Secretary of State's office, what's the significance of Bossier Tennis Incorporated?
Okay, let's pull up cut 8. Whoops. Okay.
And I don't know if it shows, but if you can see down at the very, very bottom, it doesn't show, does it?
No. It does show the registered agents and officers and statuses inactive.
Well, termination, 2016. And
oh yeah, it does at the very bottom. Let me pull that up just a little bit.
That was for Bossier Tennis Incorporated. Well, Bossier Tennis LLC, that was like 2010 or 2011 that it was involuntary revoked by the Secretary of State's office. And Killian's court, actually, look that up too. Now, there's the possibility that I was spelling it wrong and I didn't come across it, but I found no record of it being registered with the state of Louisiana as well. So, what is going on here?
Yeah,
were we trying to flow money, through a non-existent
entity that's not really there, or at least not as far as the Secretary of State's concerned?
I don't know. I don't know, but it sure is puzzling.
I mean, it's like Richard Ray. To his credit, Richard Ray said at best the agreement should have just been between the city and Todd Killen.
Correct. Richard Ray had it right. Ray had it right, and he was a little bit rebuked, you might say. Now, it almost it goes back. It brings to mind another event that happened in Bossier City, where the Bossier City Council made passed a ordinance or a resolution to do away with the roundabout at Shed Road. Right. And we showed the video. We showed the agenda. We showed where they voted on it in favor of it. But then all of a sudden, here a couple of years later, as they progressed with the Walter Road Bigby Carriageway, all of a sudden, for some unknown reason, the roundabout is stuck back in there. And then ultimately, we're losing the Shed Road crossing. That falls on Manchac. I don't care what anybody says. It's Manchac's responsibility, and we showed that. but nobody in city government's going to hold them accountable for it.
Okay, so fast forward to the workshop today. How is this related to the workshop, or is it? Other than they're
Well,
both about tennis.
it somewhat is, and there's 2 points to be made from this. So in that meeting, you had the city attorney advocating for make an amendment right then and we can do it. So let's jump to the second video in our list.
All right, give me
And
just a second here, and I'll start pulling that one up. And having to do a little. Let's see that
it's
would
kind of,
be
yep,
the
2640.
September the 20th meeting, right?
Correct.
All right, 1324.
No, that's the Man Shack stuff. We're going to jump to the 2645 mark. And, sorry, folks, but we're piecing multiple, dates together here for you. Hopefully, the picture will be painted clearly for you. So let's go to the 2645 mark and let's hit play.
All right, here we go. Let me put this screen up and fire away. Oh, that's when they had the 200 plus people there, isn't it?
Yeah, and interestingly,
is that the infamous meeting?
That's the infamous meeting, 200 plus people. Now, the crazy thing about that, Rex, we sent a public information request to Phyllis at the Bossier City Council this past week. Did you see it? The response?
I did. I glanced at it, but I'm not counting 200 people there. Maybe there's a lot more people to the left and to the right of that shot. Must be a lot more people.
Well, in that public information request, we asked for the fire marshal rating for the council chambers, as well as the number of seats. And do you know what she told us?
Well, no. What did she tell us?
She said there was only like 170 seats in there.
Oh, whoops.
So
unless somebody was sitting in somebody's laps, and there's plenty of empty chairs right there. So are you telling me that King David was full of shit again? Oh, sorry.
No, no.
Oh,
I'm not saying that. What I am saying is what kind of freaking CPA math is he using? That new math that they're teaching?
Must be the new math that they teach at CPA school.
Because I remember seeing a council meeting where he was talking about the blood, sweat, and tears of years being poured into Bossier City, but yet he can't count.
Yeah, he definitely can't count. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's play this video. So this is.
I just don't know what kind of CPA he is. I don't know. 2645.
Yeah, here we go.
When I first got here in 2017, we had about 25,000 people that came to the tennis center. This past year in 2021, we had over 31,000 people that came. That's counting juniors, adults ranging from 4 years old to 84 years old, whether it was tournaments or programs that we put on. I want to be here. I hope that you guys want me to be here. I'm from this area. I was born in Shreveport but raised in Houghton. My dad has taught in Princeton Middle and Houghton Middle School for over 30 years.
Oh, you can go ahead and
graduated
stop.
from Houghton.
So
I started playing tennis at the Bossier Racket Club.
Right, deal. So I'm doing a little bit of math here. Give me a second.
So
go ahead and
so
run on, but give me a second. I'm doing math.
Yeah. So the point that in that was that he rattled off that in 2021 they had 31,000 people that came. Today, in the meeting, him and I think it was whatever that old coach is or whatever that's over Parks and Recreation or whatever.
Yeah, Bohannon or whatever his
Yeah,
name is.
that guy. They were saying 41,000, and which we have.
Let me stop you right there. So let's do. We won't do the Houghton math and apparently the Bossier math. We'll do the Lincoln Parish and Ruston High School math. So I just ran the math on 18 courts, 4 people per court, times 21 billable hours, because 21 hours is the maximum billable hours that they can bill from the times that they advertise those courts are open. And that comes up to 78,624 people over a year if they were open every hour that they advertise across a year. Well, he just said 31,000. but he also said that they were only getting 30 to 40% utilization on full tennis courts. So the math ain't adding up there, Todd.
Yeah, well,
which is it?
There's another little bit of a
and yes,
predicament.
people, I'll post my math, and again, that's approximate numbers, but close enough for our conversation.
Okay, so some of our sleuths, what is going on? Share my screen there for just a second. I don't know if I can.
Let's try
but
that.
Somebody shared Killian's court with me.
Oh, okay.
And it's not in good standing with the Secretary of State's office.
Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, mine's probably. I need to refile my report or whatever too. That reminds me. But anyway, go ahead.
Last filing October 21 of 2021.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, and look, let's be honest. That's not uncommon. A lot of people, if they're running their own LLC or that sort of thing, forget to file and then have to go back out and file and get back up to snuff with the Secretary of State's office. But it's still a thing that our city attorney should have inquired about, or King David himself, when he wasn't whining about or pitching for the tennis courts.
So the point of all that, so in the first reading, we vote on a contract that doesn't have, we vote to move it to a second reading on a contract that doesn't have the correct descriptions in it. And we make an amendment to change it to something else to be presented for the second reading at the second meeting. It gets presented at the second meeting and it doesn't have the correct terminology with the amendments that was voted on at the previous meeting. So I'm just wondering, what is the purpose of having a council meeting if you're not going to vote on the correct language, or you're not going to do, enforce or use what you voted on in I mean, what kind of government do we have here? What is the point of even having meetings if this is just fly by the seat of your pants?
Yeah, I mean, Todd could have just gone down to Jacobs' office and they could have just signed the contract or whatever in his office and been done with it.
Yeah. So if you're Todd or you're anybody seeking to get money from Bossier City, why should you even be concerned about anything that is said at a council meeting? Because it doesn't hold water. It's fluid. It can change. It doesn't matter what you tell the public, because it's not going to be what ends up being in black and white. And you say, well, how can you say that, Duke? That's not fair. That's not actually what happens. Well, okay, by all means, let me show you. Rex, on that video, go back to it at the 2847 mark. There was some interesting dialogue that took place that ended up being discussed again today. And so in the first meeting, remember, we had King David pushing, we got to hurry. Let's get this contract done. Then we got this second meeting right now at 2847.
All right, here we go.
And it's a lot more labor on us than it is on them. As far as the fundraising, I think that's great. We can totally do that. As far as asking a percentage of the fees, where I am right now, I don't think that the pro that you would have to work that, I don't think it would be as good as me. I'm qualified to do this job. The person that would come behind me, you'd have to put more money into it because they wouldn't be doing what I do. They wouldn't have the support behind me that I have. So I'm happy to do fundraisers, but as far as taking a percentage of the court fees, I don't agree with that.
Whoa, he ain't giving up none of that money.
No, sorry, Bob.
He just flat out said it. And by my math, potentially adding these new clay courts could add about, what did I say, over $1 million? Was it over $1 million in revenue, I think?
Yeah.
I'll do some quick math. Let me get out my calculator again. Go ahead.
We'll keep rolling through the video.
Okay, here we go. Tell me when to stop.
Okay, so just to clarify, you are in favor in the future to do the external fundraising events. Are you making a commitment to that today?
Absolutely.
Okay. Mr. Smith?
Absolutely.
I don't know if he would be willing to agree in writing with the city attorney as an addendum to his current contract, but that would satisfy me if he would be willing to do that.
Mr. Attorney, what is your thoughts?
I can draft the contract as directed by the city council. We'd have to, Mr. Killen and I, or Mr. Killen's attorney and I, if he has one, or if he feels that he doesn't need one, can get together on the language. We would have to okay that proposed contract, of course, that addendum or the amendment to the contract with the city council, and then we would have to put it to a vote.
Okay.
No,
So
no,
we
wait a
have-
minute.
Let me
Hold up.
pause it right there.
Hold up. Just a minute ago in the previous meeting, didn't they just make an amendment and change the name to Killian's Court like at the snap of a finger?
Basically, yes.
No, why was it not just at the snap of a finger an amendment, right here? Why could not why all of a sudden can that not be done? But there's this big long drawn out thing now that maybe we need to consider his attorney and
Do I need
draft
to go back and play my Tremors video about complicating stuff to refresh your memory, Duke? Hold on. I've got it right here.
I'm just wondering.
We want to know what we should
Here we go.
You guys do what you do best. Find something simple and complicated.
Wrong. I'm going to disagree with you, Rex. I'm disagreeing with you. No, this isn't just making things harder. No, this was sandbagging it.
Right.
This was sandbagging it.
Oh, I agree.
They could have made the amendment right there, just like they did with Killian's Court, very easily. But for some reason, they didn't want to make this amendment. This wasn't going to happen. But go on. Let's let King David weigh in on this real quick.
Okay, here we go.
Today does not have that line item for external fundraising. We could continue this item until next 2 weeks or so, or we can go forward and amend it. But I don't think we can, because I think this is the final reading today.
I would make the motion that we go forward with the man's contract. He's given us his word that, and you can see the support he has from the tennis facility. I'm comfortable that they're going to do external fundraising.
Second.
Okay.
Mr. President, I got one question, if I may.
Okay, stop right there.
The question was
Let's
asked to me
stop
about
it.
something. Do you do any?
Okay.
He's given us his word. You see the support. I mean, over 200 people in a 170 seat place, and there's empty seats. I mean, he's gave his word. I mean, there ain't no sense in
that should stand up in court, no problem, right? I mean, Jacobs is a former judge for the 26th JDC. That should stand up in court. Your Honor,
yeah,
we had a contract with this man. Where's the contract? Oh, it wasn't a written contract. It was a verbal agreement. We've even got video of it. Oh,
Chris
yes,
Smith
that's fine, plaintiffs and defendants.
Chris Smith says maybe we should get it in writing. He gave us his word. I mean, blood, sweat, and tears, King David.
Yeah. And look, I came down pretty hard on Chris Smith last week, but he made a great point at this meeting.
At this meeting he did,
Right.
but he wasn't there today.
Oh,
but
well.
The reason that we're showing you guys this, now look, King David, 2 meetings in a row. Hup, hup, hup. Let's get this done. Let's move along, boys. Let's get it done.
Well,
I wonder.
Kayla Larkin asked, so I'll put this up there for our viewers. Does anyone know why King David is so obsessed with this man? Might as well call it Brokeback tennis courts. That's a good question. Is King David that much of a tennis, guy?
Well, Rex, I think what we really need to do is let's jump forward to today's meeting, and while we don't have the video, we have the audio, guys.
Yes.
And
okay.
You just heard, Killian's Court LLC there, or Todd Killian, or Bossier Tennis LLC, or Bossier Tennis Incorporated, whatever it actually is. I mean, I think you could pick the flavor from whatever meeting you wanted to. What was the tune today, since the city attorney said threw water on making an amendment to include it in writing?
Right.
as Chris Smith suggested and King David, let's move forward as written. You know, what was Todd Killian's take on it today? I wonder about
Yeah,
fundraising.
I wonder that too. So let me switch screens here. Let me get everything set here. Okay. Excuse me. So is there any particular timestamp that we need to go through or just start rolling it?
Actually, I have some timestamps on it, and I'm not sure if I know which ones it is.
Okay. Well, let's just play it. Let's just start playing it and we'll see where we are.
People are calling about not being able to get court time on Sundays. The courts are full. Not being able to get court times during the week because league play, all the courts are full. This past year in 22, there was like 41,000 people so far been through the tennis center. Out of that 41,000, that is the only complaint I've heard, not enough courts, no playing time. Have y'all heard any complaints from the tennis center? It's been run very efficient. Mr. Killian's done an excellent job with his staff. He keeps the complex looking great. It's a heavy maintenance on the clay courts or hydro courts where you got to keep them watered, dragged, you got to sweep lines every day. And, there's a lot goes into it that he picks up on his nickel.
Wait a minute. On his nickel? Yeah, I mean, I understand that the city might not be covering that maintenance, but the city is literally giving those nickels to him. All of them. We as taxpayers are giving him all those nickels.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Rex, is there no timestamps on that?
No, there's not. So that everybody knows, and we will post this later. This is the audio recording of that meeting. I did a quick closed caption on the meeting using some software, so it's not 100% accurate by the wording, and then overlaid that in the video just so we could get it out because the meeting was today at 1 o'clock.
Hang on, I'm gonna pull it up on my end because I may not have. I may not have shared it.
Okay.
There we go. So
right,
let
so
me
I'm gonna say okay.
Stop sharing. Let me get to my video. Restream. Share. There we go.
Share. I need to share your screen out. Bear with us just a second here, folks.
Okay, there we go. So now the first part of this. All right. So all of you, when we began the show, we said, who is the queen of Bossier City? A lot of you got it right. A lot of you got it wrong. So by decree, by WorkshopLet decree, we're going to go ahead and we're going to
let you hear the queen reveal herself.
We're going to re-anoint someone.
Okay, here we go.
Do you want to do it?
Oh no, go ahead and hit play. I think it'll roll it on your end.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Mr. President? Yes, sir. Just for clarification too, since you brought it up, budget cuts under operational expense have nothing to do with capital outlay and the LCDA bond issue of 2018. So you got to understand governmental accounting if you're going to talk about governmental accounting. So I wanted the audience to understand those are two separate sources. Mr. President, I'm asking that the man please give me the floor.
Let us be respectful for every person.
Wait a minute, pause that for a second.
If not, sir,
workshop.
I'm asking, Mr. President,
keep order.
Okay.
Right. Now, you were recording the whole room audio, right?
Yes.
I didn't. I'm sure somebody must have mouthed something or started to say something, but I couldn't pick it up. Did you hear what transpired to start setting former king, now queen, drama queen David off?
I was sitting right there, and I didn't hear anybody utter a word. But he all of a sudden just busted out, with that crap, and he was directing that, before he made those comments or he started off down that road. Colonel Crockett had got up and spoke. He spoke against this thing, and he made some really good points. He was wrong on one point, but he made some really good points. And then David wanted to retort, and David was correct in what he was saying.
That
But
to talk about government accounting, you've got to understand government accounting, how the government does things,
well,
which spends ridiculous amounts of taxpayer dollars, right?
I wasn't saying that part was correct, but
okay.
but I'm just saying what he was saying was that the LCDA money, the LCDA bond money of 2018,
the money that they borrowed,
the money that they're borrowing, the debt that they're incurring,
not the tax dollar revenues that they had been setting aside in a bank account, literally the money that they're borrowing, right?
That's right. The money that they're borrowing is the money that would be being used to fund this tennis court, expansion. And the money that, is in the operating budget, where they had previously asked all the departments to cut their budgets, they're two totally separate, piles of money. They're not the same monies. That is correct. But the thing is, Colonel Crockett didn't say anything. He didn't say anything. He may have gestured or he may have whispered to the person sitting beside him. I was sitting on the same row as him. I was kind of on the other side of the auditorium from him, but I was sitting on the same row as I could see him. But he didn't. I mean, it was nothing. So what I'm telling you and what my opinion is, the king is making these outbursts on
just
purpose.
To get attention.
It's show.
Yeah.
To get it. He's showboating.
Pomp and circumstance.
For the audience that's there. He's showboating for people.
Now, while we have 100 and something people watching the show, and we are glad to have every one of you watching, even when you don't agree with us, even if you're for the tennis court expansion, we're glad that you watch the show, even though Duke and I pretty much are not necessarily for the tennis court expansion. Now, Duke, you were physically at that meeting. How many people, in your estimation, best estimation, were at that meeting?
I counted the tennis lobby at around 25 people. I counted them. And I made a short video of the whole room that I kind of did a 360. And I counted around 25 people that were there in support. Now,
how many people against?
Now, to David Montgomery, that was probably 225.
Yeah, about the King David, Queen David math.
Oh, wait a minute. That's right. We got to explain that because he's not King David. He's not because
he's queen, drama queen.
A king is in charge, but somebody who is using the stage to put on a show and a drama show, that's a drama queen. He is the drama queen of Bossier City. Drama queen David Montgomery.
That's going to make it in our intro video. That's a great quote, Duke.
Drama queen David Montgomery.
But in all seriousness, how many people would you estimate were there against, let me be clear, against or not for the expansion of the 6 clay courts at a cost of $1.5 million taxpayer dollars that could be used for other things?
Well, all I can say for a fact is that there was one person, because there was only one person that got up and spoke against, but there was only one person allowed to get up and speak against.
Oh, they had a limited number of speakers, huh?
Darby set the rules and said that I'm only going to allow one person to get up and speak in favor and one person to get up and speak against. Although there were numerous people who spoke, in favor, and it wasn't like really some nefarious intentional thing, but it was just the kind of the way it went. But there was only one person, and the colonel got up and spoke, and he did a good job, and he was ready to go, and nobody jumped up to beat him. But I think had the floor been opened, I think there would have been more people. So to give you an exact number, no way to do it. It's impossible.
Estimate, would you say that there were more pro-tennis than anti-tennis?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Oh, definitely.
And so
Yeah,
that's what I'm
definitely.
getting at is, folks, this is what Duke and I are talking about. And, you know, granted, I wasn't at the meeting. I wasn't able to make it, but Duke was there today. And thank you, Duke, for getting that audio for us. But this is what we're talking about. When it comes down to it and they do these workshops, now Queen David can use the excuse of, oh, well, at our workshop meeting, we had 25 or 30 people show up for the courts. Therefore,
No,
everybody in Bossier must
no,
be for the courts.
no. He is a CPA. That was 225, Rex.
I forgot. You're right.
It was
Queen David.
he's a
Math.
CPA. It's just 225.
Yeah.
So
So that's how that's going to work, folks. Mark my words. Okay.
okay,
Sorry.
okay. So back on track here, folks. So you remember we showed you just a minute ago. We showed you, Killian's Court, Todd Killian, Bossier Tennis Incorporated, Bossier Tennis LLC, whatever they identify as. I mean, who knew that we got these pronouns for tennis and Bossier? But whatever they identify as, you heard them agree on the video, and you seen it. Fundraising, and then you saw. Do we need to, Chris Smith advocating for we make an amendment to the contract, and you heard King David. Oh no, wait a minute. We got him right here and you see his support. I mean, we can take his word for it or whatever. Well, let me go ahead and well, what was Todd Killian's court? What was his thoughts on fundraising today?
Yeah.
I mean,
let's hear it. You've got control, so let's hear it.
it was kind of sort of akin to amnesia, Rex, but I don't want to put words in his mouth. Here we go.
Mr. Crockett referenced the fundraising. You were here not the last time, but previously. You agreed to try to generate more fundraising. Has that happened in 2022?
Well, part of the building of these courts, USTA has a grant available. It can't be done until or before once the project starts. It can't. But I've already talked to the USTA where they will provide $35,000, and Southern Tennis Association will match it another $35,000 to help go towards this project.
Which project?
Towards this project that we're proposing.
This one?
Yes, sir.
And that's already done?
No, sir. What she advised me was, good luck with the city council meeting. If you get approved for the funds, then we'll start that conversation. And everything has to be done a certain way by the USDA standards.
So, going back to the original statement regarding fundraising, that's the point. So, in 2022, were there any fundraising done by your staff, yourself?
Well, I would say that when we run tournaments like Angela talked about with Cateville, I think that's a big fundraising, talking about building homes or providing tournaments. We don't charge anything for the court fees for those tournaments. That's something that we donate. So I think that's a big part of fundraising. If you're calling fundraising $60,000, I would say that's a large amount.
I think I had the impression, in addition to, because that's been in place, right?
Cateville?
Cateville, yes. I think I had the impression when you came previously, your commitment was to do more fundraising, and I think that was one, but I know you can take credit for that, so that's good. We were thinking it was going to be an addition, perhaps, to just what is already current.
And growing it is important. I mean, having it where what she talked about when it originally was there was under $10,000, and so it's harder to raise $50,000 another way. But I think that's a really big part of that. As far as more fundraising, I think that would be in addition to that.
Is that the plan?
So, it depends on what we're asking for. I mean, what kind of fundraising are we talking about? That was one of the things that came up at the last city council meeting. And I said I'd be willing to fundraise. Yes.
Right.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, what are we talking about? It's like, what type of fundraising? I've got amnesia
there. Yeah.
Now, did anybody watching the video earlier, did you have any question in your mind what type of fundraising that was being talked about in the council meeting But now that it's not in writing, now it's a question as to what exactly we were talking about in that previous council meeting. Y'all see how that works?
Yeah, and now Duke, you were there at that meeting today. Did Todd provide the city council, to your knowledge, with any hard numbers or marketing data or anything like that?
Well, you saw that you just heard it just a few minutes ago where they were quoting a number of 41 million people or 41,000 people versus the 31,000 in 2021.
Right.
I may have to go back and listen to it because I honestly, I didn't, was he talking about 2022 that he's already had 41,000 in 2022? Or has he only, or was that 41,000 the same number in 2021 of 31,000? Did the number change? I need to go back and listen. But either way, I mean, how come you've got the same facility and you were able to increase? What changed that you were able to increase the usage from 31,000, 21,000 in 2020, 31,000 in 2021 to 41,000 right now? And you're talking about adding 6 courts so you can increase to what? Can we not increase and make changes to, if you increased it to 41,000 this year, can you not increase it to 51,000 next year?
Well, and
With
so
what you got?
I did some quick math because I think I said 1.2 million or something earlier, and that's not right. Quick math, but again, I'll double check myself tomorrow when I post all this. But if they add 6 new courts, so they're talking about expanding it, to 6 clay courts, we assume that they have 4 people per court maximum. They can, according to their website, have 21 billable hours per week for all the courts. So we assume 21 billable hours for the 6 courts. Maximum billable people, which would be 4 per court, I guess, for tennis. That's the most you can get on a tennis court at one time is 4 people, I guess. Anyway, 52 weeks, it comes out to $65,520. That's at $250 an hour, which is the maximum hourly rate that they list that they charge for those courts. Now, there's some other stuff, where they charge for lessons or whatever the case may be. So I just went by the 250 number. And so the interesting thing there is at $65,000 a year, no wonder he, doesn't want to give it up. But they're going to cost $1.5 million. They're going to be a long time, making up the cost of those courts, if my math is correct. Again, I did it quick. I'll double check myself tomorrow.
Correct. So, don't know if this is correct. If it may not be big enough. So we had a request that we share. Boy.
And while you're looking that up, yes, sir, Mr. Crockett, it's I think $1.50 for seniors and maybe underage or whatever. I use the 250 number to show that that's the maximum amount of revenue that they could do for that. So you're correct. A certain number of those are going to be seniors or children playing and they're not going to fill the courts all the time, and certainly not going to have 4 people per court all the time either. So it's going to be less than that.
So Rex, the bottom line is if you feel inclined that it is an appropriate time for the cities to spend an additional $1.5 million on tennis courts, then do what you need to do. But if you're a Bossier City resident and let's say your sidewalk is all busted up and it's in need of repair, or your street is in need of repair, or there's trash on your street that needs to be picked up, or there's other maintenance or issues that you see or think need to be tended to, and you don't think that $1.5 million should go to a tennis court, but rather to fixing problems within Bossier City, here is a list of all of your councilmen, their numbers, their email addresses, as well as your good mayor, Tommy Chandler, Tahoe Tommy Chandler, who has your interest in mind, made lots of political, campaign promises, one being to clean up the city. You should call him and tell him that you'd rather see, that money spent somewhere else
Yeah.
for whatever you think it should be. Voice your opinion, because if you're just sitting out there and you don't let anybody know what you're thinking and you're a Bossier City resident, then you know what? Maybe we need to start going play tennis.
Yeah.
I don't
Tuesday
know.
night, 7 o'clock, be our new tennis time.
Yeah, there you go. So go back, play this video. If you need the numbers and you need the email addresses, there it is right there. Hit
Yeah.
pause on the video and go down the list. Text them.
Yeah, that's what we could do, Duke. We could set up a camera, and on Tuesday nights, you and me, and I'll get Gina, my wife, and you can bring Kara, and we'll just go play doubles tennis every Tuesday night at 7 p.m., and we'll just live stream it while we're doing it. Y'all can watch us play tennis on the new $1.5 million tennis courts.
And if you're gonna message, Councilman Montgomery, please direct it to Queen Montgomery, just for us.
Please do. Yeah.
Just for us.
Yeah.
For both
Live
to watch.
from the tennis courts.
All right. So as if this tennis stuff wasn't bad enough, it's time for some Man Shack.
Really? So we're back on Man Shack
We're
again.
We're back on Man Shack. And so again, guys, you got to follow along here. It may be a little bit boring, but we said last show, actionable information, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to put that out there. And while this isn't exactly the actionable information that I was talking about, in which I don't know, this show is kind of on the fly. We'll determine whether we go all the way by the end of the show. But here we go. This will be actionable information. But I see your cursor, Rex. And before we
I'm
go
moving.
there, we got to go down and we got to take everybody back in time. We got to take you back for a walk down memory lane.
Okay.
And
Let
with
me
that
get
walk
that
down
video
memory,
pulled up.
with that walk down memory lane, we've got to take y'all back to Shed Road and remember the roundabout and the crossing and it being shut down there. Do you remember all that discussion? Some of you may not have been watching back then. And some of you may have. A lot of you guys, y'all are informed. You know what's up. But there's a lot of folks that are watching now that don't know. You're kind of catching up. And we've been criticized, Rex. They said, I try to watch y'all's show, but I don't have a clue as to what you're talking about, because you've moved far ahead. And okay, well, here's your opportunity. We're going to go back in time a little bit. And we're going to catch you up of the relevance of the story we're going to tell you tonight and why it's pertinent. So
Okay, so I've got the video queued up from the November the 30th, 2021 meeting, and I've got us queued up to the 32:53 mark. Is that where we need to be?
Yes, sir. I think that's correct.
All right, I'm going to hit play. You tell me when to stop.
And on June 2nd, 2020, Ordinance 55 of 2020, Man Shack is hired by the city to provide services for the Walter O. Bigby Carriageway project. And I'm reading that to you just to provide factual information regarding the history of the project because it goes back a long time. We looked through boxes of information, and I hope that proves helpful as you guys make a decision this afternoon. Any questions?
That was a good report there, man. Any questions, Council?
Bueller.
If we don't close that crossing, how much will it cost the taxpayers of Bossier?
I figure somewhere in the 8 digits.
Okay.
Ooh, 8 digits. Wow.
Thank you, Ben.
Yes, sir.
That's over 10 million.
Any more questions?
8.
Wait,
I have a
no, I
question
didn't do that
for,
right. 6, 7. That's
Mr.
over.
Jacobs, if that's all right.
6, 7.
Is it appropriate for us to pass this as a resolution today? is there a conflict
we-
with the charter? Because section
You want me to pause it?
3.2 of the city charter lists.
Yeah,
out
hold up. Have
different
we
things
made
that
it to
have to be
the
passed via ordinance.
3324 mark?
We are at the 34:15 mark, yes. So, yeah, we've gone past it.
Okay, yeah. So definitely stop there. Let me get it pulled up. I should have already had it up. My apologies.
All right, which mark did you want to go to? The 3324? I can back up real
Correct.
quick. I've got it right here. All right, we're at the 3324. So some of this will be what he just said, but you want to listen to this again?
Okay, no, we can stop right there and get back to the notes. All right, so he said that in 2020, Manchac kind of like became responsible. And if we go to share my screen, cut one.
All right, let's share Duke's screen. You ready?
Nope. All right, yep, ready now.
All right, here we go.
Going in chronological order, and you will see right here. So you heard Ruttenbuck just say that whatever month in 2020, they were put in charge of the Walter O. Bigby carriageway, meaning Manchac. And you see here, August 16th, 2021, City of Bossier issues a notice to proceed to J.B. James Construction to begin construction on the Walter O. Bigby carriageway. Right?
Right.
So Manchac had already been there, and the Tommy Chandler comes in and he's advised we need to get rolling on this project and issues the notice to proceed. So all of a sudden, Shed Road pops up. And apparently we don't have, the permissions from Union Pacific Railroad to start the project because we've got a roundabout in our plans. Now, not to mention the fact that the council already had a meeting prior to this and voted to do away with the roundabout, right? But then all of a sudden it jumps up, the roundabout's back in the plans, and the only choice we have is the cut you just saw with Rauschenbach saying that if we don't close down Shed Road and we don't move now, it's going to cost us 8 digits.
8 digits.
So Manchac and or Ruttenbuck, the city engineering, right there, gave them the notice to proceed, knowing that we didn't have the permits for the Shed Road crossing. So, Rex, let's go back in time just a little bit again, and I'm stumbling here just a little bit.
Okay.
Covered the notice to proceed. I covered the J.B. James. All right. Jump to the top. Grab me the replay video. You're already there. You are the bomb. You're there.
Hey, yeah.
So let's go to that video.
All right, that's still the still the November the 30th, 2021 meeting.
No, this will be the September the 6th of 2022. We're going to jump ahead.
Okay.
Your cursor is on it in the notes.
Got it. All right, so I'm on September the 6th, 2022 meeting.
Correct.
What time?
And
what time stamp?
I should have it there in the notes. At 11:38.
11:38. Okay. Yeah. Hammonds asked questions. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Ready to play?
Go.
Fire in the hole. Bear with us, folks. Here we go.
Questions on this? Ben, I understand the needing of the road. What is the needing of the new pump station?
Bear with me.
Yes, sir.
That'll give you a breakdown of what the costs are for. So the pump station is specifically for drainage. When the project was given to us to see through to completion, all of the drainage work was proposed to tie into Benton Road. And DOTD would not permit the project utilizing that drainage infrastructure because it's already at or beyond its original capacity. So this pump station takes care of the storm water at that location, pumps it to the Red River.
And this was just another one of those costs that we were talking about that was not figured in at the beginning of this project?
Correct.
Okay. Now, that meeting was September the 6th of 2022, this year, just like 3 months ago, right?
Okay.
So he said, you had the Shed Road, there was a permitting issue, Tommy Chandler in August of 2021 issued a notice to proceed. That means, hey, everything's on go. We can start this project, no holdups. Then all of a sudden the Shed Road, guess what? We got a holdup. Shed Road crossing. We don't have Union Pacific's permission. Well, here we go. Now, September of 2022, September 6th of 2022. Oh, wait a minute. DOTD says we got to have a lift station. Citizens Bank Drive, which is a part of the Walter O. Bigby carriageway. We got to have a lift station in there. DOTD jumped up and said we got to have that, right?
Right.
Well, did we not know when we issued the letter to proceed in 2021 that we needed a permit from DOTD, or did we not know that we might have to have that, or the whole project would get shut down, or that even, more money? I mean, is 8 digits a number that we can work on, or is that just a moving target here that we're going to shoot for to try to stay under? But either way, here we go. Another $6 million on the carriageway, for this lift station thing. So fast forward to the next replay video, Rex, that I have queued up.
All right, which is which date?
The 9/20 of 22.
Okay.
Bear with us, folks. Hang in there. Just keep following along with the information that we're giving you.
Yep, give me the timestamp.
13/24.
All right. Let's see. Got it. All right, here we go. Ready?
Yep.
Was this project bid out? Did we bid this out?
Not yet, no, sir.
Okay, so this is just a cost estimate from y'all in the engineering department?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. When will this be bid out? Or what is it gonna?
Our intent is to bid it upon the council authorizing the funding to proceed.
Okay. And my second one, just for myself and any other councilman, the one I would request a breakdown of this project from its existence, from the first piece of dirt that was turned, if you don't mind, just so I have a little bit more retrospect on where we are on this project.
Okay, we haven't turned any dirt on it.
No, I'm talking from the carriageway. This falls under, the reason we're having to put this in is because of the carriageway, correct?
The pump station,
Yeah.
yes, sir, and the extension.
And the road.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just kind of the whole project.
Okay.
That's what I've got.
All right, so we can stop right there. 2 points. One, Hammonds was on fire here, and he was on the mark, and I don't know if he even knew how much on the mark he was, but he got Ben to acknowledge, that, hey, was this bid out, or has it been, is this just a cost estimate from city engineering? Was this a cost estimate from, the engineering department? Ben said yes. So, and you remember in the previous one, he said, is this just another one of those, costs that just, jumped up on us?
Mm-hmm.
He said, yes, you know. So what I would say is that let's jump down to, I got to find it.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's
Just let
jump
me
down
know.
to cut to Citizens Bank Extension Pump Station.
All right. So cut to. Let me. Let's see. Let me cut to just a second here. I gotta switch screens.
Actually, I got it up, or if you can
All
share
right.
screen
I
better.
got it. No,
Okay.
I got it right there. All right.
So you'll see here, April 4th of 2022, and this was a TahoeA Services. That is a subsidiary of Manshack.
Right.
Kind of their engineering stuff, and they are writing to the levy board, and writing to and bringing to the attention of former Councilman Tim Larkin. Who I didn't know he was even the president of the levy board.
I remember.
I like Tim anyway, but Tim's not the story here. But the story here is they're here requesting, or talking about being able to bore underneath the levee.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the big thing. If you scroll down to let's just say the very last page of this document, and I don't know if you
Page
can
25.
Yeah, I don't know if you can zoom in enough in the bottom right corner of these plans, Rex.
All right.
And it's on numerous other pages, but the one specific part is the little square box in the bottom right corner of this thing.
You're talking about way down there in the bottom right?
Yep, just to the left
Well,
of M03. You may
I'll
not can
tell you,
zoom in enough.
if you give me about 30 seconds, maybe a minute, well,
Well, okay, I'll just tell everybody. Here's
Right.
the significance. Down in the bottom left corner, there is the name of who drew these plans and a date. The date is November 20 of 21. November of 2021. And if you see to the far left of the screen, that is a revisions area. So, what I'm told by people in the engineering business is when you take plans and you amend the plans, anytime you make an amendment, you put your mark in there and you put the date at which the amendment was made to the plans. Well, these plans don't have any amendments, but these plans were drawn up in November of 2021. And the reason that this is significant, because if you scroll up, Rex, and you kind of look really close, y'all know what this is?
All right.
This
So
is the
I want to verify, though, I've enlarged it. There's the date of the plans that Duke was just talking about, November of 2021. Okay.
And you see who drew them up.
Right.
Justin Haydell and Manshack. Rittenbuck's name is on those plans there. And they were working on the plans for this lift station and all in November of 2021. But in September of 2022, it's a surprise from DOTD that, oh, we got to have a lift station. So how is it that almost 1 year to the date, Manshack already knew we was going to have to spend money on building a lift station? And they already had the plans drawn up almost a year in advance.
Well, it's Ruttenbuck's crystal ball. His magic 8-ball that he has to shake up.
He had to have borrowed it from the Queen. Him and the Queen are sharing that crystal ball. They've got the same one.
Yeah.
And if you remember, we can't delay. Same thing like the tennis. We can't delay. Remember that meeting with the railroad stuff?
Yeah.
We can't delay. 8 digits. Him and Ruttenbuck, 8 digits. No delays. On delay. But 1 year in advance, Manshack and Ruttenbuck have the foresight to already be drawing plans for the lift station. How is that?
Magic.
It's magic.
Bossier City
It's
cleaning
magic.
Yes.
So I don't know. Did that make sense, Rex?
Well, yeah, it did. And it's, for those of you that are new to watching the show, it's a little difficult to follow. Like you said earlier, Duke, it's difficult for people to follow the bouncing ball if they don't know all the context of it.
Well, here's the question. So Hammond's asked the question, did the engineering department, you know, bid out, and he said, no, we aren't doing anything until you say. But Manchac or Takapa, they were already drawing up plans a year before. They knew. Did they tell the council that they already had the plans already drawn up or that they were already working on it? I don't think I saw that in any public meeting.
Right.
But, what was the date here? August 16th of 2021. Manchac was already working on these plans. You see November 2021, it's right here in black and white. I mean, they didn't draw this crap up just in one day.
Right.
But in August of 2021, they convinced Tommy Chandler of a notice to proceed and we were good to go. We should start. So what failures have happened? One, not having the, Shed Road. We wasn't ready to go forward on Shed Road. Now we wasn't ready to go forward because of this lift station. And as a result, a lot of money has been cost here, and who benefited from those monies?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You guys put two and two together. So we put in a public information request to the mayor's office, and of course, you always send it to the city attorney as well. And we asked specifically, did Manchac or the city engineer's office advise the mayor of Bossier City, of these facts when or if around the time he, issued the notice to proceed? Because here's the thing. If Manchac or, the city engineer or Ruttenbuck, whichever, in whatever capacity, I mean, they got to pick which capacity, but if they didn't give the mayor, Tommy Chandler, Tahoe Tommy, I'm being nice, if they didn't give him the benefit of knowing that these failures were there, then they deceived the mayor. And arguably somebody could say maybe they defrauded the city, or maybe, I don't know what the legal terminology would be, but did they or didn't they? I think Tommy Chandler's got to say they told me or they didn't tell me. And maybe you guys in the public can get the answer from him, because I've not gotten a response yet from our public information request to answer that question, and they may not answer it. But if
I would say it's not legally misleading to the city council if they're in on it.
Well, if he told Tommy, then that ends up being on Tommy. Right. But if they didn't tell Tommy and they already knew, then it's on them.
Right.
So what will, or if anything, I've got no belief that anybody in the city council will do anything. I think Hambone would step up and he'll say something. Chris Smith, he probably will, or maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, based on their performances in past meetings, I would say, yeah, they certainly will question it. But based on last week's meeting, have a little sliver of doubt, but we'll see. I mean, we still like Brian Hammonds. We still like Chris Smith, and Maggio and the rest of them overall. But I don't know. I'm just questioning their fortitude lately. But anyway, okay. So I want to point out that Holly Wood Gordon, I put the comment up a minute ago. She said the city council or the council makes it difficult to follow on purpose. Yes, they do. And they don't expect people to go back in time and go back through those meetings and be able to pull up these quotes or find them and follow them. They don't expect people to do that.
Yeah, and Barry Butler says that data was in the drainage study. The cost should have been included in the original bid to build the carriageway, just like the lighting. Maybe so, Barry, but in 2020, Manchac was put in charge of the project. That that predates the Union Pacific Railroad crossing, and it certainly way predates, this lift station, and it predates the notice to proceed. Where was the engineer's office, this joint cooperative agreement between Manchac that only benefits Manchac and not the taxpayers of Bossier City? You know, where was that oversight? Did they report it or did they not? This can all be settled overnight. If they told the mayor and the mayor agreed to stick it to the taxpayer of Bossier City, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But
which he probably might have. I mean, it's not beyond the realm of possibility.
I mean, but he's not going to answer our question. The city attorney's not going to answer our question. And I can tell you on the Shed Road, nobody on the city council will answer our question regarding the Shed Road.
Right.
So I'm just wondering.
City engineer official, not to interrupt you, but future Mayor Jeremy Coleman is asking who is a city engineer now. Is that officially Ruttenbuck, or is the city engineer listed as Manchac Consulting?
Well,
it's a little confusing.
It's Ruttenbuck that gets up there and speaks on behalf of the city engineer's office. So
I guess he's the de facto city engineer, I guess.
Maybe we need to ask the Queen. I mean, he seems to have sweat all the blood, sweat, and tears over the years and can speak to, how much taxpayer dollars are to be pissed away on this and that, or how much debt is to be placed on the backs of all of the citizens of Bossier. Maybe it's on him. But you guys you've seen the plans. 2021, Manchac had their crystal ball out. Justin Haydell and Ruttenbuck both had their names on it. In 2021, they had their crystal ball out. They borrowed it from Queen David, and I don't know. How does that happen?
Yeah, it's a mystery. Well, it's not really a mystery, but anyway. All right. So I guess we're ready to move on. What has Tommy done again in his Tahoe? Did he wreck the Tahoe? What's up with that?
I don't know that it's as much about. Oh, you're looking at the notes, and
I'm actually following the notes.
Oh, you never do that. You threw me up for a loop. You never do that.
Well, I never just follow the notes. I always try to ad lib. You're gonna have to catch up.
Proton mail is an amazing thing, and it's amazing the things that you can find out that's going on if you give people anonymity. Right. Some people. Anyway, I'm gonna quit jibber jabbering. You want me to throw it out there and just say it?
Yeah.
You may just throw it out there and just say it.
Just say it.
All right, I'm gonna tell y'all. So for the 100, saying about 110 people.
Yeah.
110 folks that are here. We're fixing to give y'all a treat. We said last show that we were gonna throw out and that something that we've been sitting on for a while because we'd gotten a report before. We got a little bit of confirmation. And I think what we said the last show was that, city resources being used for personal gain. Wasn't that what I said?
I think that was pretty close to it.
Well, what's been shared with us, and in fact, we've got some digital information as well with, I'm just going to say digital images as well. See, I'm trying to make this too technical because I'm like, I guess I'm hesitating about whether to throw it out there on the map, but just throw it out there. So we understand that, numerous departments within the city of Bossier have been running a taxi service. And
a taxi service?
A taxi service.
Like in competition with Uber?
Yeah, absolutely. A taxi service on behalf of the mayor.
Really?
And yep. And in fact, going and picking up the mayor's family members, to transport them around Bossier as they needed to go. And this goes from, I'll name a couple of departments, from the marshal's office, the Bossier City Marshal's office, fire department, and, we're even told from the police department.
Hmm. All right. So, would there be, let's play devil's advocate here. Would there be any justification that you can think of as, you used to be involved as a fireman and I think you were on the civil service board for a little while. So, in your mind,
Absolutely. I mean, if you were needing to go to the hospital in an ambulance, of course, but I don't think any of these were going to the hospital by ambulance. In fact, these were being picked up at point A to be delivered at point B.
so like
And
running errands?
it 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 is a gross misuse of taxpayer dollars and taxpayer resources, and to include employees being, I don't know if they were directed or voluntarily were running the taxi service, but I'm also told that other city officials have knowledge of it and haven't said a word. Nothing,
Hmm.
zero, nada, not even a
Hmm.
peep.
And so,
And
by not reporting that, they're just as guilty.
just as guilty. So, but wait a minute, Rex, there's more.
Oh, but wait, there's more.
We're also told that there has been occasion that administrative personnel, along with the mayor, have been in city vehicles while having a designated driver that was not a city employee.
Wait a minute. Say that again?
We're told that sources say
Mm-hmm.
that administrative personnel of departments have been seen
Mm-hmm.
chauffeuring them and the mayor around, with a designated driver
Mm-hmm.
who was not a city employee driving a city vehicle.
So that's almost like a lawyer that was using a DA's office, which is a separate entity, but just follow the bouncing ball here for a minute. It's almost like a certain lawyer that ran one of those DA vehicles off a bridge and wasn't authorized to use it. It's pretty much the same thing as what you're saying is alleged to have happened.
Well, if there's no problem with that type of incident that you're describing, certainly a former judge that was a city attorney, that would be a problem, when you knew that a designated driver is not an employee of the city. I mean, you would think you would know that that wasn't appropriate either, right?
Well, yeah, and Holly brings up a good point. Why do they need to be taxied instead of driving themselves? Why do they need a designated driver anyway?
Now, wait a minute, Holly. You're mixing two different things, because we just described two different things that have been going on in Bossier City. We described one where city employees and city vehicles were basically running a taxi service, and we described a designated driver service of city vehicles by non-city employees for city administration.
Interesting.
But wait, Rex.
There's more?
There's more.
Oh, uh-oh.
Sources also say that it's been a common practice for a minor to be answering the phone in the mayor's office on behalf of the city of Bossier.
Wait, like officially answering the phone?
Yeah, like when somebody answers the phone in the mayor's office, is there if the phone is answered by someone, would that not be official if somebody's calling the mayor's office?
Well, I know I'm just being a little facetious there.
I know you are.
For
I know you
drama
are.
purposes, I'm trying to emulate the drama queen. You know.
I know that you are, and again, you know, sources say that people in city government, elected people in city government, have knowledge of it.
And just well, you know, maybe the mayor just has somebody underage in there, and he's like, oh yeah, you know, yeah, you can go ahead and answer the phone. I mean,
well, I'm wondering.
Is there a law against it?
I don't
That
know
would
that
be
there's
the
a
question.
law. I don't know that there's a law against it, but I'm just wondering if the, you know, citizens of Bossier City, if they think that that's appropriate, that, you know, a minor non-employee is answering the phone on behalf of the city of Bossier in the mayor's office. I'm wondering if they think it's appropriate that there's designated drivers driving city vehicles, hauling administrative personnel around that are not city employees. And I'm wondering if they think it's appropriate that city vehicles and city employees are, you know, directed to pick up non-city employees and basically providing shuttle transport services for, you know, people in the city. I'm wondering if the citizens of Bossier think that's an appropriate expenditure of their tax dollars. And you know what?
Hey,
If they
look.
think all that is good, then
Wait a
I,
minute.
I, I guess I'm batshit crazy. Then, you
The
know,
city
and
council did ask all department heads to cut their budgets. I mean, I know they retracted that
no, that's
later
not.
on. Maybe Tommy missed. We'll have to go back and check, but maybe the mayor's office missed where they retracted that, and he didn't realize it. And he's trying to use child labor and double up on resources to taxi them around. Maybe that's his justification.
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I mean, so
I
I
All
don't
right.
know.
Well, hey, look.
Where do I go from there?
If we're wrong about any of these accusations, then well, let us know. Yeah,
Call us out.
Tommy.
Say those are dog face pony soldier lies.
Yeah, Tommy. You have our phone number. Amanda, I know you have our phone number. So you know, y'all are welcome to come on the show. All right. What else do we have this evening? Anything in particular, or I mean, I got First Church up here. Was there anything of significance?
We could cover some of the proton mail because actually, remember there was somebody sent us a proton mail. They were trying out proton mail, sending us information for the first time.
Yeah, let me see
And
if I can find that real quick.
I don't completely 100% understand what they were saying. I mean, I do get it. They were saying, I wanted to try this, send you some information, and I wanted to try this proton mail thing out to one, see how it worked, and two, see whether you would know who I was or not. Well,
Yeah. Let me see if I
newsflash,
can.
I ain't got a freaking clue who you are.
Yeah. All right. So let me. I think I can share this part. It'll be okay. Yeah. All right. So this was sent to our Proton Mail account. Says, just seeing if this email reaches you anonymously. Yes, it reached us anonymously. I watched a Chandler, well, whoever that guy's name is, and Riser KBD Abyss podcast, which caused me to throw up in my mouth. Would Mayor Tommy Chandler be willing to sit down with 7 people who voted for him for mayor and discuss the political platform he used when he ran for mayor and what, if anything, he has accomplished off what he promised Bossier City residents? So just to let you know, we did get the Proton Mail. We did get it anonymously, except your Proton Mail handle, which, you know, is not your real name, but apparently. So, yeah, we got it anonymously. And no, I don't think Tommy will do that.
No, there's no way in heck he would do that. He's at least got a PIO now that's, you know, going to corral his mouth and not let him talk. But obviously he's going on this. I would butcher that name. Can anybody pronounce that name? I mean, no ill will to the man, but
Right.
I can't pronounce that. But you notice that they've started this podcast, and it is nothing but friendly stuff to Tommy Chandler. That's all I've seen on it. I've seen it a couple of times, and
Oh, I
every
hadn't seen it
time,
yet. You have to send me the
yeah, I've
URL
seen
to
it.
it.
It's like Tommy Chandler's the only person that's on there ever, and it ain't nothing but a love fest with Tommy Chandler. They don't even hit him with any hard questions. I mean,
Well, you know.
I want Tommy to come on here and address the allegations that we've made. I want him to answer did he know, that Union Pacific, before he issued the notice to proceed on Shed Road, did he know that there wasn't the approval from Union Pacific? Did he know that as a result of doing that, in Ruttenbuck's words, it was going to cost the taxpayers of Motor City 8 digits and we had no choice? Or was he that did he just not know? I'm going to be nice. Did he just not know?
So let's share another one. Says, so this is another Proton mail, different person. So the city of Bossier decided to give all employees who worked during the pandemic a $2,000 bonus. Although I am for bonuses, government employees are not supposed to get them. According to Article 7, 14 of the Louisiana Constitution, prohibits the payment of a bonus or any other gratuitous unearned payment to public employees. Worth checking into. I have not looked that up yet, but, maybe somebody in the audience will do a little homework for us.
That's the first time I've seen that one right there.
Well, I forwarded it to you, but you may not have seen that one. Let's see. Then we got one about looking into an $800,000 skeet range on Old Plain Dealing Road. Are you familiar with that skeet range? Old Plain Dealing Road?
Oh, you know what? I'll bet that is a private venture. No, I'm not familiar with it, but if I had my guess, it's a private individual, probably the same person who did one kind of east of Benton. But I don't know that for a fact. We'll have to check that one out. Don't know.
Okay, let's see.
Jerry Gallman, Kaylee Larkin, if you vote for me, you got it. Mark Smith. Mark Smith showed up. Said
Smith.
The AG opinion allows it. Well, that's good information to know.
Okay. Let's see. Let me share another one here. Says Says I have a problem with a person living in Shreveport, Caddo Parish, making hundreds of thousands of dollars off the taxpayers of Bossier City, and the taxpayers not getting a single dollar. The city of Bossier should be like the parish, require certain people doing certain things, and reaping major free money from the taxpayers to live in the city. All right.
Mark Smith again says premium pay paid from COVID money.
Yes, that is true. All right. Since my voice is pretty much about shot for tonight, what is the? Do we have anything newsworthy to share about First Church?
We got a lot of information. I think let's share all that next week. There's a lot of information flying around. There's a lot of emails back and forth from folks.
I think even an email was it an email from Brad or tweet from Brad or something?
I don't know. It might have been a tweet. I mean, we had already kind of had our mindset on where we would go in this show. We wanted to kind of close up that library loophole, and we wanted to show everybody the Man Shack contradiction and let everybody see it for themselves. And I don't know. I'm not optimistic that anybody will do anything about all of that. I think maybe the next show will cover the First Church updates and go from there. And I don't know. All we want is good government. And, we don't need any queens in government yelling at people, trying to make a show and a mockery of it. And just because you can get debt, that doesn't mean you should incur debt. But either way, I think Bossier City is going to find out here in the near future whether debt will, weigh it down or whether it won't.
All right.
I don't know.
Okay, we appreciate everybody watching. I think we're at about 114, 115 people at 2 hours, so that's pretty darn good. We'll go more in depth to the First Church stuff next week. If you have an email that you want to share with us, you want to do anonymously, send it to or make a free protonmail.com account. Don't put any identifying information in the email and send it to bossierwatch@protonmail.com. We do obviously look into that stuff and sometimes read them on the air. Anything else you want to say, Duke?
Everybody, if you're going to send an email to the council telling them your thoughts on the tennis court, if you send one to the formerly known King David, please refer to him as Queen David.
Queen David, yes. And make sure and make your voices heard. If not, they will pack the city council meeting with hundreds and hundreds of pro tennis people and waste your $1.5 million tax dollars.
Have a good night, Rex, and thanks everybody for watching. We'll see y'all next week.
All right. Appreciate everybody. See you, Duke.